The IRS says that by the end of January of 2022, many of you are going to get two letters in the mail from the IRS, and you're going to need these two letters in order to file your 2021 personal tax return. So don't throw them away. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Hello from Freedom Tax Accounting. We're an accounting firm where we have been providing quality tax and accounting services now for over 20 years. If you're new to this channel, we provide strategies for small business owners so they can achieve their financial goals. If that is a topic that you like, please subscribe to our channel. Now, last week, actually this week, the IRS sent out a news report saying that by the end of January 2022, they are going to start sending two letters that many of you are going to get in the mail. And don't throw them away, because your tax preparer is going to need these letters in order to finish your 2021 personal tax return work. To talk about this topic, I'm going to bring in my co-worker, Robert. Robert, how are you?
Fine, thank you, Carlos. Excellent. Thank you for having me with you today. And yeah, we're definitely ready for tax season.
Very good. Robert is our tax expert here at Freedom Tax Accounting. Robert, how many years you've been doing this now?
Wow, a good bit while now. Since 2003, we've been doing taxes
Wow.
here for the community. So,
So it's some 18
yeah.
years now.
Yes, sir.
You're getting old, man. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
Now, Robert is our super expert here on personal taxes and other tax related issues at Freedom Tax Accounting. So, Robert, as you
Mhm.
know, this week we got a notice from the IRS that by the end of January 2020, many taxpayers are going to get two letters in the
Mhm.
mail from the IRS, and that they need these letters to provide these letters to their tax preparers in order to finish their 2021 tax work.
That's
What do we need to know about these letters?
Well, yeah, it's big news and something that the majority of the public needs to be aware of, because in the past, when people thought about filing their tax returns, for the most part, as long as you had your W-2, right? Maybe you were a homeowner and you received a statement from your bank letting you know how much interest and property taxes you paid, or
Mhm.
maybe you had um, some other source of income. Well, we were all used to waiting to get these forms in the mail and then going and filing our taxes. Well, because of everything that's been going on, obviously, during the past couple of years, like the government assisting with the stimulus payments that a lot of people had received. We all remember last year
Yeah.
was the first year that when filing tax returns, most Americans received that first and the second stimulus payments.
Mhm.
Well, those things had to be reconciled, right, and addressed when the tax returns were being prepared. And a lot of people also received these letters. So the IRS is doing it again, but this year it's a little bit different because
Okay.
back in March of 2021, the government put through, the IRS and Congress put through the assistance, the U.S. Rescue Plan Act that passed in March.
Okay.
Uh, Part of what that put into place was assistance and enforcing or incrementation of the child tax credit.
Okay.
Right, the child tax credit is a credit that's nothing new. It's been there for a good amount of years now, right?
Okay.
And pretty much, if you have kids, you are if they're under 16, you could possibly qualify for this credit. Well, assistance was given to increase this credit up to 3,000, for children who are under 17, and up to 3,600 for children 6 and under, or under 6 years old.
Okay.
That increase of the credit, the government starting back in the summer,
Okay.
they started sending in advance of that credit,
Okay.
right? And most people, most taxpayers, most families receive the credit. But a lot of folks, this is something completely new, didn't keep track of it, right?
Okay.
And I know from clients of ours who have called us and let us know that the amounts varied, right? So You know, the IRS wants everybody to be aware that this is going to be key. And when you come and do your taxes for this year, you have to know how much you received through December of last year,
Okay.
because when you come and do your taxes, you have to enter in how much you receive.
Okay. So that's the way the government is reconciling with whatever tax return we send in.
Correct, because a lot of people, a lot of people are going to do their due diligence, right? Maybe a lot of people know how much they got each month, and maybe they've been adding up, but some people may not, right? So the IRS wants to for us to have a reminder, right? And that's
Okay.
the main purpose of these letters. It's
Okay.
going to be called letter 6419, correct? Letter 6419.
Okay.
So be on the lookout for it. From everything that we've read and the notice from the IRS, they're going to be start. Those letters are going to start coming out at the end of January,
Okay.
right? The IRS has yet to announce when they're going to start accepting the 2021 tax returns, but
Okay.
based on that, they're going to start sending these letters at the end of January. We would expect, right, that tax filing season is going to start probably end
February.
end of January, early February,
Yeah.
most likely,
Well,
right?
Robert, we've been doing this more than 20 years.
Hmm.
We know that when the IRS says we're going to send out these letters by the end of January,
Yeah,
we may get them in May. um,
correct.
is there any way that people can access this information online, or do they have to wait for the letter?
It's a great question, Carlos. There is a way. The IRS does understand, right, that things can happen. Maybe somebody moves. Maybe the IRS doesn't have their current address, right? Maybe something got lost in the mail. So yes, the IRS will have a website, a portal, right?
Okay.
We're gonna link it right below,
Yes.
for our listeners, to access it and be able to go online, document, go through the IRS, security measures to identify that it is you, right,
Exactly.
who is accessing that information. But yeah, they'll be able to access that portal to get the same information that's going to come in the form of a letter.
Okay, so yes, we are going to provide a link to that IRS online portal in the description of this video. So Robert, that's letter 6419. That's the
Mhm.
letter that's for the child tax credit,
Correct.
but there's a second letter as well. That's
Yes.
for
Letters.
stimulus payments, right?
Correct. It's actually called letter 6475.
Okay.
That's the second letter that you mentioned, which is for the stimulus payments,
Okay.
right? There's been a lot of payments sent, a lot of stimulus help, thankfully, a lot of, Americans were in need of that assistance, and we're thankful for that. So, but as if most of our clients, so most people listening to this remember, last year when you filed your taxes, um, uh, you know, that also had to be reconciled, right? So
Yeah.
most people received that first and that second stimulus that was mailed out in 2020
Yes.
with no issue. But some folks, for whatever reason, did not receive it, right? So those folks were able to claim that on their 2020 return.
Okay.
Same thing's going to happen because if we all remember, there was a third stimulus payment that was mailed out in around the summer, I believe, of 2021.
Okay. Yeah, and I think people need to know that the importance of these letters is that you actually, this is what the government has on your file. The government says that they have sent you these stimulus payments and that you have
Mhm.
received this amount of child tax credit.
Correct.
And the benefit for the taxpayer is that the government may owe them more than what they received.
Correct, because look, I'll give you myself as an example, right?
Okay.
I have uh, twin boys, right, 13-year-olds that
Hmm.
qualify for this credit. They've always ever since that they were born, they've every year qualified for the child tax credit. So it's
Exactly.
something that we have claimed automatically in each year's return, right? But this year they're over 7 years old, so they keep qualified for the child tax credit, but there was an increase of $1,000 for each. Right now the child tax credit for 2021 is 3,000 per child.
Okay.
So what the IRS did is that increase, right, that extra $1,000 per child, they made it available to parents, right, taxpayers,
Yeah,
as an advance
exactly.
during the year, right,
Hmm.
in monthly installments,
Exactly.
right? So when we, but they didn't send out the whole $3,000 per child. It was only the additional increase, thousand per child, that was mailed out to parents.
Exactly.
But why do I use myself as an example?
Mhm.
Because when I heard about this, I wanted to elect not to receive it, right?
Okay.
Not to receive it as an advance, but I forgot to do the same thing for my wife.
And the reason you didn't want to get it in advance is that you wanted to claim the entire credit when you did your tax return. You did not. You didn't want to get it in advance.
Correct. So there's going to be some folks who were aware of what was going on, and maybe they went online and elected to say, "Hey, you know what, IRS, don't send me that advance up front."
Okay. And that's
So
what you did.
that's what I did, but I forgot to do it for my wife. So
Oh.
I did end up. So somebody like myself, right? Somebody in my same position, it's key and important to make sure that you have that letter, right? Because that amount, that partial amount that I received during the year for my wife's half, when we file again jointly together, I have to make sure that I put the correct amount that was received as an advance, so that there's no issue, right? So that it matches with what the IRS has, and
Exactly.
there's no delay. Because remember, we only received a partial amount. There's still more child tax credit that we can claim with the tax return.
Exactly.
And, and if we don't do it the proper way, which is what we want, while we're doing this today, we don't want our clients who are listening to go through delays.
Okay.
We saw last year,
Yeah.
clients who told us, not clients of ours, but other people, usually people who filed after the fact, after they had already filed, right, calling us and saying, "Hey, listen, we haven't received our refund. I went to this person, or I filed my taxes online by myself, and I'm still waiting. What's going on?" And a lot of them is because it's related to those stimulus payments that you talked about,
Okay.
that they didn't receive, they didn't get the letter, or maybe they weren't aware of what was supposed to happen, of that reconciliation that's supposed to be done, and that caused delays in the IRS processing the refund. So the same thing is happening this year, where we have to make sure to reconcile that information correctly, so as to avoid delays in the issuing of the refunds.
Perfect. So if you got stimulus payments in 2021, and if
Mhm,
you got child tax credit in 2021, then you
mhm,
should get these letters. And if you don't get them, then go to the online portal, which we're going to provide the link in the description below, so you can
mhm.
access that information directly from the IRS. And you can
Right.
take that information either to us or to your tax preparer. So that
Right.
way you don't delay your refund, basically.
That's correct. Yeah. So the people who receive the advance of the child tax credit should be getting this letter, right?
Mhm.
If you elected not to receive any advance, then don't expect the letter 6419, right?
Yeah.
Because you didn't receive any advance. And if you received your third stimulus payment, if you haven't received your third stimulus payment, then you will get a letter saying, "Hey, you didn't get it. You can claim it now."
Okay, perfect.
Right?
So now you know. Be on the lookout for these two IRS letters, and if you don't get them, we are going to provide a link to the IRS portal in the description of this video. So, Robert, thank you for the great information.
Pleasure, Father.
All right.
Yes,
So,
sir.
thank you for watching this video. If you have received value out of this information, please like this video and share it with another person that can take advantage of this information. Remember that we are praying for you, praying for your family, and praying for your business. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Bye bye.